going over my unedited, raw, unfiltered setup right here. Great meadow we're posted up in. I got this Rough Country 270-degree awning. I think it's really good. Pretty inexpensive. Has a decent amount of cover. I had the OVS 270 before, but it was so big that we found ourselves never putting it up because it was just so big and it was really hard to pack up. This is pretty painless, so it comes out a lot more often. I have the large Buyers Expedition boxes on the side. These are great. The small formats are just not as long. They're the same height and depth dimension on the fender itself. Getting some macaroni salad going. Different logo options I'm working on. This is a magnet mount, so it's really nice to just put it places, because when I've had a set place where I want to put a logo, but then it gets taken up by some accessory. So this is just a Bodega. It was like $230. It was pretty inexpensive, but it's been great. It holds an absolute ton of stuff. And the stud shelf was great because you can adjust it up and down. So I was able to adjust mine all the way up. I have a port in the back for the power. I'll touch on the power here in a sec. And this is just the standard cooler slide. The Expedition tongue box. This side's locked, but I'll open the other side. Great for just some extra storage. I have two fuel propane tanks up front. Tons of height in here, so you can really deck this thing out. Enclosed roof rack's really nice. Be able to keep everything. I'll go over my electrical setup that I did here in a sec. On the Expedition tongue box, I got a top mounted MOLLE panel, which ports into my Starlink. So this is just a standard cable gland where I can put just generally anywhere on a trailer. Does really well to support this Starlink mount. This, I drive down the road with this no problem on the highway. And because this is the Mobile Mini, I'm able to use it while moving. And it's worked pretty well in steep canyons. It's been an absolute game changer. But the Expedition tongue box, I have all kinds of stuff in there. That's the enclosure for the awning. A bucket of just random like off-road supplies, shackles, stakes, all sorts of stuff. And just another milk crate. You can never go wrong. On this side is my other Gypsy Camp. There's plenty of room for, this is a pretty large duffel bag. This is my Starlink mount. I made a video on this. This is actually held in with just magnets. I mean, this trailer's been through some crazy stuff since I put this on. And these magnets have held just perfectly. So no drilling required. Just kind of throw it into place. Great spot for a Starlink kit. I got the other large format Buyers box on the side. And these Timberens have the upgraded suspension. So the stiffer spring axle spring, which is 75 gauge, not 45 gauge. Adds a lot of lift, and I like to weigh this thing down, so it really does. It's still a spongy ride, but not, too spongy as if it's, kind of tired, if you will. So those are a great addition. Any Timbren, if you call the website, they don't like to tell you, but they do offer upgraded springs for your Timbren setup. So if you have another trailer that has Timbrens, call them up. If you feel like your suspension's sagging and you kind of want to revamp the life out of your suspension, call and get stiffer gauged rubber springs. It's really easy to install. They are sort of spendy, but it's a good little hack. Got some Sloppy Joe mix sauteing on the back. These are chalk block holders from, pretty e-trailer. I can supply these, you can grab them yourself, but just shows the universality of all the oblongs and whatnot that I put on all the roof racks. These are great, you know, obviously just to add a more stable setup. The tent that I'm rocking is a Tough Stuff Overland. It's the Stealth, so it's the aluminum hardtop. And what that allows you to do is obviously a lot more robust. I got hit with hail and didn't do anything to the trailer, but the hail chipped away some of the paint. I just got this tent probably 4 months ago, so aluminum. It's hard to paint aluminum. But anyway, I got two 100 watt solar panels up there, so I got 200 watts of power. I've not had any issues running out of power. I've been up here for 4 days, and I've used a Starlink, I've used charged phones, all sorts of stuff, lights, and it's been no problems. On the rear, I have a rear fold down table with a MOLLE panel. It's great for, you know, my forks and whatnot. The Sloppy Joe mix. Better turn that off. That is done. The stove here is a Camp Chef Ranger 2. I like this stove because it's a dual burner. It's the highest BTUs I could find in this footprint. Because at elevation here, we're outside of Ouray, Colorado, and 10,000 feet, so it's kind of hard to boil water. So this cooks really well. Just a standard 20-pound propane tank, so I can go to any grocery store and get it refilled. The stud rear slide here makes for a nice kitchen. So the kitchen, what I call the kitchen, has a slide, and these Sidio crates, SIDIO crates, that fit the format really nicely, and they're pretty modular, so you can really deck out your setup however you like. It keeps things clean and organized. Just a standard milk crate for like bread and obviously chips. Full-size generator on there as well. There's my other crate. The lower compartment, it's really handy for the stuff that just needs to be out of sight, out of mind. I got an impact in there. I have my water tanks. That's 24 gallons of water. And then my battery and a bunch of other random stuff. So it's just a great spot to put things. It's amazing the stuff you'll manage to put down there. Rear air K-jacks, standard. I don't need them here because it's nice and level, but I did use them earlier, and they did come in handy to level out the trailer, keep it more secure. That rear swing gate for the roof rack here just secures on there. For the electrical, this is a 200 amp hour lithium battery. I put a light in the back. I put lights on the sides. I have inside lights as well. It all goes to this standard switch panel. And then I have an inverter. This is a 1,000 watt inverter. Powers a Starlink rate. I made a video on the magnet mounts. For instance, like to plug my Starlink in, it was kind of a pain to drag it all the way across. So I have my rat's nest there. I haven't managed to put it through the electrical eyelets yet, but this power supply, power strip, is secured with just those magnets. So use the magnets. It's a steel trailer, so these things can really be a game changer. That about covers it. Spare tire obviously on the rear door. Heavy duty hinges, so, and I use 11 gauge for the rear door as well, which obviously allows for a ton of weight to be put on it. These hinges are completely overbuilt, but whatever, I think they're necessary. One thing I do want is a trasharoo, the little trash bag holders, because that's just a gypsy camp. But yeah, everything you see here fit inside the trailer. I mean, it's really nice to have something to liberate your vehicle. We take the truck out all the time, and we just feel like we don't, you know, we're just at home. We don't have a load full of stuff in the vehicle, and it's just all consolidated in here into a lockable, weather-tight box. And everything's completely modular, and you can really customize it to whatever your needs are. If these are my needs, I'm huge into backcountry elk hunting. I mean, we're doing scouting right now, which is, you know, what this trailer is really intended for. But You know, it could mean a lot of different things for people, but I try to give a just a blueprint for you to work off of. Any questions? You can email me at sales@warhorseoverland.com. If you got questions about gear, just let me know. I've used a lot of stuff. Thanks for doing my super high-speed walk around today.